What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. Making the best out of being broken. DMX OD overdosed, and he's like one of my favorite rappers. Seriously, just because of the music itself. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I don't have a liking towards drug addicts in a sense, but people like DMX are like my personal exceptions to the rule. Not because of the talent, but because that's a person who made the best out of being broken. Because when you hear a person like his life story about his youth, you would assume that you don't make it out of that situation well. So he's a grown man. He made grown decisions. And anybody knows anything about DMX has been on some type of drug for maybe the last 25, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? When he blew up, he was smoking crack. But the thing about, like, if you're a Mike Tyson fan and you hear about Mike Tyson's upbringing, you know you know that God has something to do with that. Um, when you like Keisha Cole, same situation. But what's different about DMX is there was no family to take him in. So with him in particular, it's like you really not supposed to be where you at. Really not. Now I think he's taken that. I'm not supposed to be where I'm at, and just ran with it, and truly have been on. I'm gonna live my best life, even though sometimes it might be self-destructive kick. But I can honestly say I would not expect him to be a whole self-actualized person. He has his moments where it's like this dude is super profound, and that got to come from the struggle and the ups and downs and the grace, but also probably also in shame, survivor's remorse or something like that. And for me, it's like, hey man, you really can't. I feel for his family, for his kids, for his ex-wife. Because he probably does need an intervention, but that's probably not going to stop him. You know what I'm saying? Because Swiss Beats used to say, he'll go to jail or kind of reboot. But if you knew his story, you realize he was like institutionalized at a young age. It was talked about in the space maybe months ago when he talked about one of the guys who was his mentor introducing him to crack. Well, when he was a teenager, because he laced the weed with it, and he's been kind of like hooked on drugs ever since. And it's like, he made the best he has been making, and the best out of a bad situation that you would never see. You wouldn't see a positive into. He has some ridiculous meltdowns along the way, but you got to give credit where credit is due. So for me, do I want to, and I saw something like Boyce Watkins was talking about it, and I didn't see the whole thing with Boyce Watkins, but he referenced rap being destructive, and I get it, but I didn't see him referencing DMX's childhood, and like his childhood makes you go, oh, I I get it, because I should have brought up like 50 Cent, same thing. Like I think in our community we get more people who wind up more like 50 Cent than like DMX. But those two dichotomies exist, you know, because in a sense DMX and Mike Tyson aren't that far apart. Think about it. When you think about the actions, they're not that far apart. But I say there's far more 50 Cents in our communities because there are far more guys who turn that troubling youth into to be extremely disciplined, and that, but all these situations, regardless, say the same thing. Like, this person is making the best out of being broken, and it might actually be their driving force at a certain point. So, I know it says, it's not looking good. It's touch and go. I hope he recovers. If he doesn't, he's actually made a huge impact on the world. So he'll definitely be remembered. So that's just my thoughts on it. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. We out. Peace.